Data visualization is a critical piece of modern day statistical analysis. Whereas tables are helpful, still you have to eyeball through the output to figure out what the trends are. The visual display is much more easily understandable. So using the same data set of teaching evaluations, we asked this question: do instructors teaching single credit courses get higher evaluations? And we see that yes, they do. The mean evaluation, when plotted as a chart, you see that those who teach single credit courses, the average teaching evaluation is slightly higher. Let's look at some other graphics before we attempt to repeat the same in SPSS. In this graphic, you see that we have plotted the mean or average teaching evaluation score for tenured professors, and then we have added another gender dimension to it. So green color is males, blue is females. You would notice that untenured professors, male have higher teaching evaluation, and for tenured professors, the difference in teaching evaluation is not that pronounced as it is for untenured. Let us repeat the analysis in SPSS. We click on Graphs, Chart Builder. I'm just going to reset it so it's clean. Bar, drag the bar chart template here. Click on Gender of female instructor on the x-axis. Teaching evaluation score. Drag and drop it on count and click on OK. And here's the graph. Now we want to do the same for tenure, but adding gender as a additional dimension. I say Graphs, Chart Builder, Reset. This time I pick the different template. Click on x-axis. We pick tenure and teaching evaluation on count. Drag and drop, and then female on the clustering on X, and then OK, and there you go. If one has two continuous variables, such as the beauty score and the teaching evaluation, both are continuous, not categorical, the best way to depict them is using a scatter plot. So you're looking at a scatter plot where beauty score is mapped out on x-axis and evaluations are laid out on y-axis, and the color of the dots represents male and female. So blue is female, green is male. Another way of presenting the same data is to have two side-by-side panels, same data, beauty and evaluation, beauty on the x-axis, teaching evaluation scores on the y-axis, but we are plotting a separate chart for females and another one for male instructors. So if you were to recall the other one, we have all the data set in one chart differentiated by color, but if you think that the patterns are not very easily detectable, then you can plot them separately. And lastly, we can fit a regression line to it. This is a lowest line that we have done. We'll discuss this later, but just to show you how to get these results, I'll take you to SPSS. To generate a scatter plot, I click on Graphs, Chart Builder, click on Scatter, and pick the second. So first let me reset, and then second template. On x-axis, I'm putting beauty and normalize beauty score on x-axis. I'm dragging the teaching evaluation score on y-axis, and the color by gender. So I'm taking the gender variable and dropping it there. Click OK, and this is the same graph that you saw earlier. In order to do multiple panels, we recall the same dialog box, reset, and say scatter, pick the appropriate template, drop teaching evaluation score on y-axis, drag normalize beauty score on x-axis. So this is the same graph as before, but now we say groups and select the column panel variable, and it shows up here. And now we say female instructor variable here. So now we will have multiple side-by-side panels. Click on OK, and here you go. In order to fit a regression line, we have to edit this graphic. To edit it, double click on this graphic and it will open up an editing window. I will select one of these options, so add fit line to add total. So I click this. It opens up a dialog box. I select lowest lines, and then I can draw these, but I click on lines, pick a color of my liking. So I say line, red color, and I want to make it a little thick. So I say 2, weight is 2, this type of line. Say apply, close this here, and then the lines are selected. Notice that it has fit the regression line and added the equation to it, which is not what I intended. So I'm going to double click on it and click on line and go back and say Lewis. Now I pick the right one. I don't want any labels on it, so I say deselect that, apply, and now I double click and get out of the editing mode, and now I've got the regression or the best fit line attached to it. Here we are looking at the average teaching evaluation score differentiated by gender, male and female, and further differentiated by tenure, and this is called the box plot. We can have easily plotted just one box plot, but we have got four versions of it differentiated by gender and tenure. We will explain box plots later, but let's see how we can generate this graphic. We return to SPSS, graphs, chart builder, reset, click on gallery, pick box plot, and we want multiple dimensions, so we just click it, bring it here, and then on x-axis we have gender, so female instructor here, and y-axis is the teaching evaluation score, and then we want the groups by rows, and the panel is tenure. We drag and drop tenure on panel, click OK. Our box plot differentiated by tenure and gender.